It's not
Right.
just about the way I move on the court, it's
Yeah.
about how we do everything else in life. So, but when you come back to what makes somebody a great ball handler, and what you said about a bag, a lot of these moves I teach aren't for the move itself. And that's where a lot of people, and I explain this to parents, explain it to kids. The reason why we do certain moves, like say we do 3, 4, 5 different moves, it has nothing to do with that move because I don't want kids doing that in the game. I've been a coach. Okay, keeping it simple is more effective, and there's a less chance for you to turn the ball over and whatnot. So I am doing these moves to make sure their balance, their footwork, their rhythm, their timing, their base are all getting better. Because the game to me starts from the ground up. And if you don't have good footwork, you're not going to be a good shooter. You're not going to be a good ball handler. You're not going to be a good defender. Okay. So having that balance, that footwork, the rhythm, the timing, it's a rhythm game. So to me, moving different, the way you move is a lot more important than the move. So, hey, go do it. And, so a lot of the stuff I do is about how we do the move. I'm not going to tell a kid to go do a crossover because I do not like seeing, hey, go do this, go do that, go do that. I'm not that type of trainer. Okay, I'll tell a kid what to do, but if I see there's mistakes, I want to help them. How do we do that move? Okay, because if you're just doing the same thing over and over again with bad mechanics, just bad posture, just
Yeah.
bad habits in general, you're developing more and more bad habits.
Right.
So I care about how the athletes move rather than what move we do, because once you learn how to move, you can do any move.
Mm, I like that. I like that. And even
So
you
that's kind of my philosophy behind it. So.
right. And you even just mentioned it there, like when you kind of look at a player, you're very much hands-on and teaching them not just what to do, but how to do it. And again, it's emphasis on movement, which I think is so key. And in a way, I feel like, and this is what brought me to your page again, Coach Hunter, is you teach not the ball, the movement that gets the ball moving. Because at the end of the day, it's all about misdirection and how you can change speed, change direction, and use your body to fake and kind of misdirect the defense. So when you start working with a new athlete, like what do you evaluate first when it comes to their handle and movement with the ball?
First of all, yeah, I put them through, I let them kinda do it themselves, and that's where I've been trying to transition to because at the end of the day, all athletes move different. Everybody's
Yeah,
different. The way you're built, the way if you're
yeah,
taller, shorter, where are you strong at? So I let these athletes do it themselves before I kinda step in and kinda correct and see what I think they can do better. Because I don't wanna change something if maybe they're good at it. There's certain things I can tell them, but it's always footwork. It's always footwork, and even some of the best athletes that I've worked with, guys that are touching the top of the backboard,
yeah.
their footwork is not great. I
Wow.
mean, just a lie, but they just have, they have a gift that a lot of you know, you can't be 6'6" with a 45-inch vertical. That's just not, that's a gift.
Yeah.
And not everybody can be like that. I'm about 5'11", 6 foot.
Me too. Yeah. Me
So,
too.
yeah, so I'm about 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah.
People always say I'm about 5'4" when they watch my videos to know how low I get. But yeah, I'm about 5'11", 6 foot. And the one thing that I talk to my kids a lot about is all of us can learn to play lower to the ground.
Mm,
Okay, we can't learn to be 6'6" and jump, out of the gym. It's just not realistic. But every athlete on the court can learn to play lower and get stronger in a lower position.
right.
So if you're able to do that, that's one thing that I really had to do because I couldn't out athlete the athletes.
Yes. Yeah.
I had to eliminate their athleticism by playing lower than them.
Right.
So just being able to move and match that footwork with the ball and get that sync, get that rhythm, get that timing, is something that I really focus on with a lot of these young kids. And just seeing the improvement once they understand it and fix it just skyrockets. It's unbelievable.
See, and just even on that, like you was just there speaking a lot about timing and footwork, which like again, working with my under 16s team, I'm reminded of yes, we're working on this move, but the footwork behind it and making sure you're balanced and you're under control, I think is something that's so key that not a lot of players realize. But then I'm kind of starting to realize I don't think not a lot of coaches really highlight player movement like you do, Coach Hunter, timing and footwork. So, speaking about this timing and footwork, how do those two components directly influence how a player handles the ball?
Like, it just gives you great rhythm, the timing. I always call it ball and foot timing, or every step's a dribble, every dribble's a step. So when you're able to match, it just gives you a constant flow with what you're doing. It just gives you that rhythm to make the next play. So there's lots of different details. I wish, it's a lot easier to explain when I'm working with an athlete,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just being there's ways you can move your feet, and foot positioning, the way your knees need to be, the way your shoulders, knees, and toes need to be in line so you have a good center of gravity, so you're always on balance. A lot of younger kids like to lean forward when they dribble the
Mhm.
ball, then their feet get chopping really quick because their feet are trying to catch up to their body. And in a game, if you under there's somebody usually guarding us. So in basketball, you don't want to go, just straight. We want to go straight back, side to side, diagonal, diagonal. But that all results from your feet and your body positioning, being in a good position to make, create a play for yourself at all times. And that comes down to balance, center of gravity and all that. So just being able to find that rhythm is crucial.
And with regards to, again, because you teach the details at such a great level, and it's really one, you make it fun, but two, is very quick and easy to understand. So can you kind of walk us through, how you teach ball handling from the ground up, and what are some of the
Yeah.
key progressions?
So I would say the first things first. I always make the kids, I always tell them, have you ever heard of the saying, the head, shoulders, knees, and
Yeah, I
that
know.
little song they're like, yeah, we've heard that. We do it at school, blah, blah, blah. So that would be with my really, really young kids. And I'm like, okay, take away the head part. Let's do our shoulders, knees, and toes. Okay. Then before you know it, these kids are starting to understand it, and it doesn't take, it's not one day. It
Yeah,
takes time. But I've had, these young group of kids for 3 months, and they know now. It's just crazy seeing the difference of them doing it 3 months ago where they couldn't really even dribble because they had no, like, feel.
yeah,
Now that looks like they're being able to dance with the ball a little bit, and that's all it is. It's poetry in motion. So,
right.
I start with the fundamentals of having a wide, strong base, just like we're playing defense. Then I'm talking about our knees and our shoulders having a good line and just making us on balance.
Right.
And then basically from that point up, now how can we move our feet to keep it there? Because now it's every step's a dribble, every dribble's a step. Then once we just slowly build that up. So base starts with your feet, knees, shoulders, knees, and toes are on in line.